one of the ancient scrolls, preserved in a forgotten temple at the base of the sacred Mount Huashan, an amazing story is recorded about the birth of Xiangu, one of the 8 immortals. According to this scroll, she was born into her family in Anhui province, during the reign of the Tang dynasty, an era when the culture and arts of China reached unprecedented heights. Her father, He Tai, was a respected official and scholar, deeply engrossed in studying Daoist texts and astronomy. Xiangu's mother, Li Mei, was a poet's daughter and possessed a refined taste for art and poetry. She passed away shortly after giving birth to her daughter, leaving Xiangu in the care of her father. The birth of Xiangu was accompanied by unusual and mystical events. On the night of her birth, the sky was strewn with bright stars, and in the garden behind her family's house, a peach tree suddenly bloomed, despite it not being the flowering season. This peach blossom was of extraordinary beauty and emitted a bright radiance. According to legend, Xiangu was born from this blossom. The He family's home was surrounded by a lush garden, where rare flowers and trees grew, creating a sense of peace and harmony. Her father raised Xiangu with a love for nature and knowledge, passing on his teachings to her. Her early childhood was filled with stories about ancient gods, heroes, and sages, which kindled in her a desire for knowledge and spiritual development. The He family's home, located near the mighty Yangtze River, was a gathering place for scholars and poets. Xiangu grew up listening to their conversations and discussions, which further fueled her curiosity and desire for knowledge. Her father provided her access to an extensive library, where she spent hours immersed in studying Daoist texts and ancient scrolls. There was a turning point in Xiangu's life when she met Lu Dongbin. In one of the ancient texts, kept in the secret library of the Wushan Temple, the story of the meeting between Xiangu and Lu Dongbin is recorded, one of the most captivating in Chinese mythology. When Xiangu reached the age of 16, she already possessed a deep understanding of Daoist teachings and a yearning for spiritual enlightenment. One spring day, Xiangu set out to the mountains in search of tranquility and solitude for meditation. Amidst dense forests and picturesque slopes, she discovered a secluded temple at the base of the sacred Mount Taishan. This place was known for its energy flows and was considered a gateway to another world. At that very time, Lu Dongbin, the great sage and alchemist, was also in this temple. He was in search of a disciple to whom he could pass on his knowledge. According to legend, Lu Dongbin followed celestial signs that led him to this temple at the exact moment when Xiangu arrived. When Xiangu entered the inner courtyard of the temple, her gaze met with Lu Dongbin's. They both felt an incomprehensible connection. Lu Dongbin recognized in her the exceptional soul he was seeking, while Xiangu felt deep respect and attraction to the wisdom emanating from this man. Lu Dongbin shared with her his knowledge of the mysteries of the universe, Daoism, and alchemy. He told her stories of ancient sages and gods, revealing to her the depths of spiritual truths she had only guessed at before. Their meeting in this sacred place marked the beginning of their joint path, a path of mentor and disciple, where Lu Dongbin assumed the role of spiritual guide for Xiangu. From that day, Xiangu became a constant companion of Lu Dongbin. They traveled together, exploring the mysteries of Daoism and alchemy. Under his guidance, Xiangu reached great spiritual heights and ultimately became one of the 8 immortals, etching her name in the annals of Chinese mythology. Lu Dongbin taught Xiangu the art of Daoist meditation, helping her achieve deep trance states in which she could comprehend the essence of the universe. She learned to understand the language of nature, to communicate with the spirits of rivers and mountains, and even to control the weather. Once, when a village at the base of the mountain suffered from drought, Xiangu, using her knowledge and willpower, summoned rain, saving the harvest and the villagers from famine. Lu Dongbin also taught her alchemy and the art of creating healing elixirs. Among the legends about Xiangu is a story of how she healed a wounded deer using her knowledge of medicinal herbs. From that moment, the deer became her faithful companion, symbolizing harmony with nature and gratitude. Thanks to her training with Lu Dongbin, Xiangu mastered the art of transmutation, allowing her to create gold from simple stones. She used this skill not for personal enrichment but to aid those in need, transforming ordinary stones into gold and distributing it to the poor. Lu Dongbin also taught her the mastery of combat and self-defense. Xiangu became a skilled swordswoman and even developed her own style of fighting, which combined grace and precision. Her prowess was so great that she could defeat dozens of warriors without resorting to violence, merely neutralizing them. The most important lesson Xiangu learned from Lu Dongbin was the understanding of the importance of balance and harmony in everything. She realized that true strength lies not in the display of power but in the ability to create harmony and equilibrium, both within oneself and in the surrounding world. The legend of Xiangu and the mysterious Lunghua flower. In the ancient annals stored in the Daoist Tower, located in the mysterious Junhua Mountains, there's a legend about Xiangu's distant and dangerous journey for the mysterious Lunghua flower, possessing magical healing powers. According to the legend, in the ancient city of Fenghuan, where Xiangu lived, a terrible disease broke out. It afflicted many residents, and none of the known remedies could heal them. Xiangu, using her knowledge of alchemy, understood that only the Lunghua flower, growing on the very peak of Mount Tianshan, could save the people. The road to Mount Tianshan was fraught with dangers, mythical creatures dwelled there, and strange phenomena occurred. But Xiangu was not afraid. She equipped her faithful companion, a deer, and set off on her journey. Along the way, a wandering monk, Miao Jian, possessing the art of combat and wind magic, joined her. Together, they overcame obstacles, encountering mountain and forest spirits who sometimes aided them and sometimes set cunning traps. Upon reaching the summit of Mount Tianshan, they found a huge dragon guarding the Lunghua flower. The dragon was a majestic creature with scales shimmering in all the colors of the rainbow. Xiangu realized that force would not help in this confrontation. She began to speak with the dragon, using her knowledge of the language of nature. She explained that the flower was needed to save the people and promised to return it after healing the sick. The dragon, struck by her wisdom and compassion, allowed her to take the flower. However, he warned that its power was not infinite, and it must be returned so it could rejuvenate. Xiangu and Miao Jian thanked the dragon and swiftly descended the mountain. The return of the Lunghua flower to Fenghuan saved many lives. Xiangu used its magical power to heal the sick and then, as promised, returned the flower to the summit of Mount Tianshan. The legend of Xiangu and the mirror of the five elements. In one of the forgotten manuscripts, found deep within a lost monastery on the slopes of Mount Wudan, lies an amazing legend of Xiangu and the mirror of the five elements. This ancient myth tells of how Xiangu discovered a lost mirror possessing magic that could alter the course of time and space. According to the legend, during the reign of the Tang dynasty, Xiangu embarked on a long journey in search of ancient artifacts. One day, while navigating through the misty jungles in the south of China, she stumbled upon an abandoned cave. Inside the cave lay the mirror of the five elements, glowing with mystical light. The mirror, as the legend goes, was created by a powerful alchemist in the times of ancient dynasties and had the power to control the elements of nature: water, fire, earth, wood, and metal. Realizing the importance of this discovery, Xiangu decided to use the mirror for good. She returned to her hometown, which was then suffering from a drought. Using the mirror, Xiangu summoned rain, filling rivers and lakes, and saving the harvest from ruin. She then used the mirror's power to fortify the city walls, protecting it from enemy forces and natural disasters. However, Xiangu understood that such power should not fall into the wrong hands. After using the mirror to aid her people, she decided to hide it in a safe place. According to the myth, she took the mirror and ascended to the top of the highest mountain, where she met a dragon, the guardian of the celestial gates. Xiangu asked the dragon to guard the mirror, ensuring its power was used only for noble purposes. The dragon, impressed by her wisdom and nobility, agreed. Thus, the mirror was hidden in a celestial dimension, accessible only to those with pure hearts and true wisdom.